You know the feeling. You jolt awake, stare into the dark, and look at the clock. It's 2:30 a.m. Immediately, your brain starts doing the math, calculating exactly how few hours of sleep you have left before the alarm goes off. Today, we treat this middle-of-the-night wakefulness as a malfunction. Society labels it insomnia, a defect to be fixed with a strict sleep hygiene routine or a prescription. But researchers are realizing that waking up at 2 in the morning might be exactly how the human body naturally operated for hundreds of thousands of years. When we flipped the switch on artificial lighting, we didn't just alter our bedtimes. We displaced an entire phase of human consciousness that was once common to every person on the planet. To understand what we lost, we must look back to the era before the Industrial Revolution, when the sun setting meant the world went pitch black. In 2001, historian Roger E. Eckerich published a paper detailing 16 years of archival research into the way humans used to sleep. He uncovered over 500 references spanning centuries. Court records, passages in Homer's Odyssey, and illuminated 15th century prayer books all casually mention the same concept, a first sleep and a second sleep. This diagram shows the ancient cycle. People slept 4 hours after sunset, stayed awake for 2 hours, then slept until dawn. This gap, called the watch, was used to visit neighbors, interpret dreams, or think. The historical record suggests that sleeping in one continuous block is a modern invention. For thousands of years, waking up in the middle of the night was the global standard. But this raises a question. Were our ancestors just following a widespread cultural habit, or is this two-part sleep cycle actually part of our biology? In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware ran an experiment at the National Institute of Mental Health. He took a group of volunteers and placed them in total darkness for 14 hours every night for an entire month. Within weeks, every participant settled into the exact same pattern. Their sleep fractured into 2 4-hour blocks, separated by quiet wakefulness. Ware measured their hormone levels during that wakeful gap and found that the participants' brains were producing highly elevated levels of prolactin. Prolactin is the same hormone released during meditation. The volunteers described feeling a sense of peace that was distinct from normal waking life, a meditative state that most modern humans never experience. Ware's experiment proved midnight wakefulness isn't a glitch. It is a dormant biological program that reasserts itself as soon as the artificial lights go out. To understand why we developed this rhythm, we have to look back 1 million years to Wonderwork Cave in South Africa. Before we harnessed fire, night was a time of frozen fear. Human night vision is terrible compared to predators, so moving after sunset meant becoming prey. You simply climbed a tree and stayed still. Controlling fire provided a 30-foot circle of safety that predators wouldn't cross. For the first time, humans could remain on the ground after dark without being killed. This safety added 2 to 4 hours of usable time to the end of every day, fundamentally changing how our ancestors interacted with the darkness. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner found that this extra time changed the way we speak. During the day, 80% of conversation is practical, focused on the logistics of work and survival. But around the campfire, 81% of conversations shift to stories, myths, and jokes. Fire gave us the safety to step away from survival and explore the imaginative world of the night. By moving us out of the trees and into a protected circle, it allowed the long stretch of darkness to evolve from a state of hiding into the structured, reflective rhythm of the watch. We maintained this relationship with the dark until very recently. In medieval towns, bells were rung to enforce curfews, a word that literally means cover fire, to keep the night deliberately dark and quiet. That ended with the rapid conquest of the night. We moved from 17th century street lamps to gas lighting, and finally to Thomas Edison's commercial light bulb, which flooded our homes with light at all hours. This diagram shows the conflict that followed. When blue light from a screen hits your retina at 11 p.m., your brain interprets it as daytime. It delays the release of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep cycles. In just a few generations, we dismantled a circadian rhythm that had been stable for 300,000 years. We traded that quiet, meditative phase of the night for a light switch. So the next time you find yourself awake at 2 a.m., don't panic. Recognize it not as a disorder, but as your own biology remembering a way of life that the rest of the world has forgotten.